So here's the question. As a real estate investor, how do you build a business that you're excited to show up to every day while you constantly grow your stream of passive income that you and your family can depend on for life without having to leave your computer or even live somewhere that houses are affordable? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Welcome to the Virtual Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Brian Elwood.
What's up, guys? Brian Elwood here, and welcome back to another episode. Let's get down to business, shall we? We're all about creating freedom on this show, and that's what I want for you guys. Just to remind you, at the end of the day, real estate investing is another vehicle to help you live the life you want to live, to be able to get up in the morning and do what you want to do with your day. I mean, how many people do you know that really get to do that? It's really, really rare, and it makes me sad with all the people that I see that have very little freedom or very little control in their lives, because it really depresses them a lot of the time. And the saddest part about it is that there is a way out. It's not easy and it's not commonly talked about, but I'm talking about it right now. And I want you guys to really know that, at the end of the day, freedom is why we do what we do as real estate investors and really as entrepreneurs. A lot of the studies have shown that the main reason people become entrepreneurs is because they seek more and more freedom in their life. That's the primary driver. The problem is that most entrepreneurs, no matter how much money they get or how much success they have, they never actually become free. In fact, they become less free, and they become busy and busy all the time. I mean, think about if you know any rich, successful people, what do they always say? Oh, I'm so busy. I've got so much going on. Their phone's blowing up all the time. They've got people answering their emails for them because they've got so many emails. It's ridiculous. So you got to realize that as you become an entrepreneur, as you become a real estate investor, it's so easy to slip into that busyness thing and to just slip into the desire for more and more and more, and to where you actually miss your original goal altogether. So please remember that, guys, because it means a lot to me to get that message out there. So I get this question quite a bit, the difference between single family and multifamily, and which one should I buy? Should you buy single family houses, or should you buy duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, and then all the way on up? I mean, I know guys that have 100-unit buildings and more. And that's a great question. It's one that I'm very interested in because this is a big strategy decision that affects cash flow at the end of the day. Now, a quick disclaimer is that I am not a multifamily expert. The only multifamilies that I own are duplexes and triplexes. I've never owned anything above 3 units. So if you're a multifamily investor, you're probably laughing at that because I understand that you guys could easily take down 50 units like it's nothing, or 100, or maybe it's just more like 20 or 30. But I get it. And my plan is to crack much more into the multifamily market kind of over the next 12 months. I'm really interested in it. I'm going to start marketing to everything probably between 5 and 30 units in the Middle Tennessee area pretty heavily over the next year, and find some deals and get some of those in my portfolio. So let me tell you what I do know. Based upon comparing my own plexes. When I say plex, I mean duplex, triplex, quadplex. That's kind of what people mean when they say the plexes. Comparing those to my single family houses, the plexes are always better from a cash flow perspective. You just get more rent for your dollar when you buy multifamily. And it makes sense that you should, because you're buying a bunch of units that are all inside of the same building. It's kind of an economy of scale kind of thing. You're always going to have a lot more cash flow coming in. You might pay 70 grand for a single family house that rents for, $900 a month. Or you might pay 100 grand for a duplex where each side rents for 600. So, you're getting $1,200 a month in rent for that, versus only 900 for the single family. And probably those numbers are off because, the duplex will probably rent for a little more if you paid 100 for it, probably more like 800 a side. But you get the point. Multis are always going to be better for cash flow. What about single families? So single family houses are definitely better for appreciation. They appreciate kind of on their own based upon the market going up and down. Historically, single family houses appreciate at a rate of about 6% a year. So if you own a house in America, you're historically just going to make 6% on it every year without doing anything, which is kind of goes back to why this industry is such an easy way to build wealth, is that you don't really have to do anything. You kind of just get your hands on some properties and sit back and wait and let them go up in value. Now, of course, if a market crashes, they temporarily go down in value. But if you historically look back at decades and decades of data, 6% gain per year is average. Single families are also good for cash flow. They're not as good as multifamilies, but shoot, they work for me and they work for a lot of people. I know guys who have 250 single family houses and are making 6 figures a month. And that's right. I said a month in cash flow from their portfolio. They're just crushing it. They're retired. I mean, you don't need to have even a fraction of that many houses to retire. But single family works for cash flow as well. Multifamily is easier to manage because you've got all your units together. Like if it needs a new roof, you put the roof on for all of your units at once. And you can go in and replace all the appliances at once or paint all the walls at once. The property manager kind of has it easier because all the units are in one place. He or she doesn't have to drive all over the city to manage your different units. They're all together. So it makes everything cheaper as far as from a maintenance perspective, just having everything under one roof. It's just a lot easier to deal with. A benefit of single family that a lot of people don't talk about is that it's easier to get into because the prices are cheaper. So like if you wanted to buy like a 10 unit building, and let's say you were paying about $40,000 a unit, so it'd be $400 grand to buy the 10 unit property. Single family houses, your first one, you could probably get in for 40 or 50 grand. That's 10% of the price. So much lower down payment. And it's a good way to dip your toes in the water of real estate investing. Now I know people who like Joe Fairless, who hosts the Best Real Estate Investing Advice Ever podcast. I think that's the name. I was a guest on it a while back. He's kind of famous for skipping right to 100 unit building. He went from nothing to buying a 100 unit building, but he did a lot of research. He's a really smart guy. And he made it work for him. And so it's possible to do just about anything, but I'm just telling you, a lot of the things that we do kind of link back to what our mindset is about them. There's a lot of you listening are saying that's cool for him, but I would never be comfortable jumping to a 100 unit property from our first one. And I kind of feel the same way. My plan is to slowly buy bigger and bigger properties to where a 100 unit building makes sense to me and I can understand it. And I think a good way to do that would maybe to buy one that's 5 units and then a 10 and then a 20 and then a 30. And kind of, because right now it's nothing for me to buy a single family house or a duplex or a triplex or whatever, because I know exactly what to expect. I've done it before. And for a multifamily investor who's buying a 50 or 100 unit property, it's nothing for them because they know what to expect. They've done it before. They know how to do their due diligence and run their numbers and all that. So there's a learning process either way. Also remember, like how many of you guys play Monopoly? So I love this analogy for real estate investing. The whole concept of 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. So when you buy a space on the Monopoly board, you put a greenhouse on it and people have to pay more. And then you put 2 and 3 and 4. And then once you have 4 greenhouses, you can have the right to purchase the red hotel to put on the space. And then people have to pay you the maximum when they land on that space. And real estate investing is kind of like that as well. You could buy, let's say, 5 single family houses and hold those for a few years, let them go up in value, pay down the debt a little bit, and then kind of, put your eyes on a 10 unit building, and you could decide to sell all of your 5 houses and do a 1031 exchange, which is just a way to avoid paying taxes, into the 10 unit building. So it's like you traded in your 4 houses for the red hotel. So you can trade up later for better investments. And having just any investments is a huge asset because you can sell them and capture the equity and roll it into better options. So if your goal is strictly cash flow, then I'm going to say that multifamily is the best option for you. But however, if you're too scared to buy multi because it's more of a commitment and it's more units and it costs more, then go single family in the beginning. You're going to do well either way. And it's more about, like, at the end of the day, is just getting you to take action with wherever you're at and what level you're comfortable with today. You're much better off to buy something than to buy nothing, as long as the numbers work on the deal. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want me to answer one of your questions live on the show, email me at brian@brianelwood.net, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Get out there and make some offers, put some money together, and buy some houses, guys. Let's do it. Peace.
Want more? Get your free copy of Brian's book that is changing real estate businesses everywhere. Just go to www.fireyourself.net. Also, register for your free virtual real estate investing online masterclass at virtualinvestingclass.com.